All right, good evening, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart. Today is Wednesday, June 11th, 2014. And this is the stock market analysis Wednesday night BRIC edition. We're going to take a brief review of the BRIC countries and see how they're doing over the last week. But we're going to start off with the Dow Industrials, which was down 102 points today. One point it was down quite a bit more than that, or a little bit more than that, I guess. So we closed at 16,843. The low was another 22 points down. Now, the interesting thing is I was really thinking that this might get to where it closes below that 10-day exponential moving average, but it didn't. It bounced right off of it, bounced right off this trend line. So here's the possible pullback from this throwover, okay, with this ending diagonal triangle, rising wedge, whatever you want to call it, and getting this throw over as to the final fifth wave within this, triangle, which we talked about before. Now, so what we're going to need this to do is to come back down in here. So the fact that this doing this and the way it's acting, and because of this situation, is why I didn't stay long at the party in several of the call positions I've got in. I'm still in one of them and got puts in the other one, but all three of the ones I got out of had nice profit in this morning. So, but a couple of them were kind of counter trend. So, again, I didn't want to stay long at the party. So we'll talk about those briefly. NASDAQ, look at just a lot of little bitty bars, not a whole lot of movement. What the NASDAQ was down 6 today. So it didn't sell off dramatically, not getting the pullback. And really the Dow, when you look at the SPX, I don't have the SPX and the New York Composite and those up. This was the strongest pullback of those indices. The Dow was the strongest pullback. The other ones are still kind of hanging up here. So we'll just have to watch and see if we continue to get any follow through. The VIX rallied a little bit, but again, nothing dramatic. The other indicators aren't doing a whole lot, so I'm not going to really focus on them right now. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the BRIC countries. Brazil has been on fire this last week, so they're in celebratory mood because of, I guess, the World Cup down there. But man, this is, and I talked about how, we got this pullback down to the 55-day moving average. And I really thought there was a good chance we were going to come right off of this and bounce up. And then now, look how we've broken this trend line. So that's a pretty good move. I mean, that's a pretty strong move. Let's see if I don't have volume on this indicator, on this indice. That's pretty interesting. Maybe I'll have to take a look at see what Brazilian stocks that might be trading ADRs. I just haven't looked. So I'm sure there are a few, and I know there's a big mining company down there. Brazil, Russia. Boy, Russia just continues to amaze. I mean, look how this has just come back. It just keeps pushing. So I guess the fact that people are talking, I know they're trying to do a gas deal between Europe and Russia, and I don't think they've agreed to it yet. I didn't look at the news today on that, but this is pretty amazing. Now, the interesting thing about this is I just happened to look at this and I thought, okay, excuse me, here's a good example of these dotted lines are my Keltner channels, okay? And so you get outside the Keltner channels, you get a close. And sometimes, what's the ADX in here? It's 24, it's 23. So it's kind of rising and starting to turn. It's 24, it's above 20. So that means it's trending. And so that's a decent sign. If it was low, say it was 13 or 14, you got to close up above here. You might want to just take profits and get out. But now you get 3 closes above a Keltner channel. And what's an interesting thing to do, and I've noticed this characteristic even on a lot of stocks, that you then try to put a stop below the low the prior day, and here you would have been taken out right here, and then you got this dramatic pullback. With the moving averages all aligned like this, you could target and say, I'll get back in at the 10. you know, and just take a chance. Now, I mean, it's a tough thing to do when all of a sudden you got a pullback and it's pulling back like crazy, and everybody's selling to buy the 10 again. And the other option is to wait for it to break the high of a couple of days. And then look, you know, it comes right back and it starts riding the upper part of the channel again. Now, you would have been taken out right in here, taken out on the low after 3 days above it. But again, if you would have bought down here on the 10 and then get out here at the low, still would have had decent profit. So, I mean, it's just some things to think about in terms of your strategy as you start to see stocks trade like this. Granted, this is an indice, this is a market. So, but boy, it is really, it's back up into this mix. I would think that it's going to start hitting resistance with all this trading. And it may be right in that zone where it's going to start hitting resistance. I would have thought it would have been hit by now. Okay, India, the Nifty 50 continues to push higher. I think we might be close to the end of this fifth wave in here. Again, we're in a fifth wave of a third wave. So the third wave may be getting close to completing. And the reason I say that is because I'm looking at 1, 2, and then this big third wave. Okay, from here, you know, from here, here's 2, to here, here's 3. Okay, so that's a big extended wave. And so when you look at it, you say, well, okay, from the beginning of wave 1, and you pull back to wave 2, how far did this go? Well, at 100%, it equals wave 1. 161.8%, anything up to that is considered to be a normal wave 3, and it went slightly over that, okay? Another way to look at this is to say, well, how many points are in wave 1? Now that we've got a slightly extended wave 3, then that means wave 1 and wave 5 might have a tendency to be equal, okay? So when you look at this, let's ballpark at 5,100, a little bit above, and a little bit above, what is that? I like these crosshairs. 61 and 51, okay? So we're talking 1,000 points about. So then if you say, well, 1,000 points from here, I guess we got a little more to go. Would put you at about 81, and we're at 76 something. So yeah, you know, this thing could push for several hundred more points to the upside. A lot of momentum there. And then China with the Shanghai index is the last one, and this one's rallied since the last week. But again, a lot of overlapping. I mean, I'm not seeing impulsive move. It really, you know, it doesn't look really strongly bullish to me. Now it's coming off this trend line. You know, that's the good news. It's trying to pull itself up, and you know, maybe this other trend line in here, it's trying to break through with the close. With the close today, it's right at it or slightly above it. So it may be, if we can get movement, it'll, you know, continue to push up here to at least this trend line. But that we're going to need to see this thing to break. But again, this doesn't look like super strong activity. Although I was looking at the top 20, the 20 Chinese stocks I look at, 14 out of 20 or 70% were up today. So, you know, pretty good movement. I think they were fairly decent yesterday too. Okay, so that's the BRIC countries. So we've got Brazil rallying like crazy, Russia rallying like crazy, India rallying like crazy, and China still on the floor trying to pick itself up off the floor. Okay, and so now let's take a look at 4 Chinese stocks. We're going to look at Metro Crown Entertainment. Melco. Why do I always want to say Metro? It's Melco Crown Entertainment. Okay. I was trying to go short on this back in here, and then I think I tried, and it's like I can't remember where it was, but I remember it's like, okay, I'm not going to keep. I started getting spooked because we had a rally above the 10 here, above the 10 here. Didn't trade much above the 10, but we traded above the 10 3 times in a downward move. Now this was the 4th time, and then we're getting the 10 crossing the 21. I thought, well, maybe we're going to get some movement to the upside. And sure enough, the momentum still continues to the downside. So it's pretty negative action in here. it's hard to justify stepping in to buy. You know, I mean, it's just because, and I don't think the divergences are even showing up. No, I mean, you're not getting any divergences. Slightly, I mean, we actually went, the DI minus went higher. So you're not even getting divergences showing up in here. MPEL keeps pushing to the downside. Okay, YOKU to-dos. Yeah, and these are the 4 top trade volume today. That's why I picked these. Okay, so Melco was number 1. YOKU was the number 2 heavily traded that I follow. BIDU is number 3, and QIHU 360 is number 4. So we're going to look at number 2, YOKU. This is a big bounce, big move in here, coming back. It looks like a bear market type rally to me. Just that spiky type of thing. Let's take a look. Now, you had this big reversal type bar in here. It never, you know, if you would have bought in here and had a stop down here, you wouldn't have gotten stopped out, but you'd been sitting there like nervous Nanny waiting to see what happened. But it's divergence. Yeah, there wasn't really solid divergence coming in here, but it may be trying to turn. But again, we'll have to wait to see if we can start to get some momentum to build to the upside. But you got to be cautious because those kind of bear market rallies can really play you. And then BIDU. Okay, BIDU again keeps pushing here. We're not getting bearish divergence on the RSI. Let's take a look at this. We're not getting it here. It's pushing to higher high. Demand index is pushing higher too. It's in sync. So the indicators are in sync with the move by the price. Okay, the moving averages are starting to line. The 10, the 21, the 55. 55 is above the 233. So literally all 4 moving averages they're aligned to the upside. So this is in a bullish scenario, and we'll just have to see if this is going to continue or not. This is a little bit of this kind of choppy sideways. You know, we're in this after this big move up. After this, now that's what you call impulsive move. Okay, so after this big move from here to here, this was like a wave 5. Now we're chopping, and so it's really hard to, you know, you're going to top out just right up in here where we kind of did over here and over here. So we're going to have to be careful in here, but right now things look like it's starting to get in sync with it. Just have to keep an eye on it. The perfect time to get back would have been right in here. And of course, I wasn't paying that close attention to it. And the last one is QIHU 360. This one really looks interesting to me. This looks like we could have a little bottoming. This does have some bullish divergence going on in here. Okay, DI minus did not go to a new low or new high when this went to a new low. Divergence here, divergence here. So we're getting the divergence that occurred between these 2 points. Got this move up. Now we got the cross. Now we pull back down again. The 10 staying above the 21. We're getting this move in here. I'm going to take a look at the options on this. I may put out a trade idea on this. I'll have to look to see how the options look. This has been kind of a high ATR type stock. The ATR today is 3.87, let's say. So that means the average true range on a daily basis is 3.87 points. So that's great if you're day trading. If you're swing trading, it starts, you know, these kind of stocks, you know, you can get the options can get very, very expensive, which is why when you get into these high price stocks, people move towards the weeklies, but then you have no room for error whatsoever. But anyway, I'm going to take a look at this one and see, because it's starting to look like it may be wanting to make a move up here. It breaks this trend line. Could get a decent swing that at least tries to come up to maybe test the old high. All right, that's it on the Chinese stocks tonight. And I did get out of Pandora today with a profit. I'm going to have the details on the Trade Ideas page. And Citrix Systems, I just couldn't stand not taking the profit when It was been up 5 days in a row and closed nearly on its high, and it's way above the Keltner channel. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to push my luck here. So we had a really nice profit there. Had a nice profit on Tableau software, and got into 3D systems with puts. Actually got in twice today in 2 different points. So I'll have that data on the Trade Ideas webpage. So this has been Joe, and also look for me, my subscribers. Just want to let you know, I'm going to have a broadcast email coming out talking about this new service that I'm offering and launching. I'm going to be launching it tonight, and I will start taking the service will actually kick in starting next Monday. But you take a look at it, look at the video. I've got a video that you're going to be exposed to, and we'll be talking about it. It's the video analysis coaching service that I'm offering. So anyway, be excited about it, and take a look at it, and take a look at the broadcast email that I'll be sending out just a little bit later. This has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Have a great Thursday, everyone.